welcome back to Cute Claws with Kelly. So today's video I am going to be doing kind of a gel polish over this natural, or is it clear? I'm sorry, I think it's, no, natural. Sorry about that. Natural dip powder. So doing the gel polish over that, and that's just because of the colors that my daughter picked. She was looking at all my swatches, dip powder, gel polish, everything, and decided on the gel polish colors. So the key thing with this video that I am showing you all is a different way to build the apex. So there's definitely more than one way that can be done, and so I wanted to give this method a try from a video that I saw on YouTube. I think it was a Kiara Sky video, if I'm not mistaken, but I show you when I get into it here when I'm actually like working with her hand and stuff like that. But I've reverted back to using my triple vitamin and Rossi dip and dip base and activator. I'm going to use these Mia Secret products as well just to prep the nail. The first one is a dehydrator, which works perfectly to get the oils and dust off the nail. This is after I soaked her set off, or helped her soak her last set off, and then pushed back her cuticles and did all of that other work on her nails to get her ready for this new mani. And then the second product that I'm going in with here is a primer. So I have heard that there can be some issues using the primer and then trying to put the dip base on top of the primer because it can gunk up the brush. I did not have that problem, but I would definitely warn you of that. So I know that this primer says it's good for gel polish and acrylic, but I think they mean regular acrylic, the kind that you use with the monomer. So be careful if you're gonna go ahead and attempt this, because I don't want you ruining your dip liquid's base because you did this. So again, I didn't have an issue, although I don't know that it really was an added benefit. I was just kind of trying it out to see if it would help, adhere the product to the nail better, because she doesn't get a ton of lifting, but she does get some lifting. So anyway, I probably would not do that going forward. So what I'm doing with this way to build up the nail. So you saw that I put a little bit of pressure on her free edge, and where I could see that her nail starts to turn white on the nail plate, that is the stress point of her nail. And so I'm going in with a little tiny dab of dip, going from sidewall to sidewall, not like completely sidewall to sidewall. I shouldn't say that, but that's like, instead of up and down, I'm going side to side, just in the middle of her nail right there. So I am pushing on each one of her nails on the free edge, just so that I could see where that white spot is created on her nail plate, to identify the stress point. And then I'm going in with that little bit of dip base right there in that center point. So that's the first thing that I'm going to do on each nail. And let me just stop there, get through this hand, and then I'll come back in when I'm getting ready to do the next step of building the apex. Okay, so the next step of building the apex is to get some product down the very center of her nail. So if I was to divide her nail into 4 quarters, I want to go from kind of the middle point. So not all the way to the cuticle and not all the way to the free edge, but kind of that middle section, like over parts 2 and 3. Again, if I divide the nail into 4 sections. Right down the middle, not going anywhere else, not even close to the sidewalls. Again, just, trying to add that natural looking curve to her nail, and making sure that I cover over the spot that I put the first little tiny dot of dip over on her stress point. So that's the next step, is to do this center stripe. So again, I'm gonna, get through this hand, and I'll come back once we move on. Okay, so you probably noticed I was having a little bit of a hard time getting some product out of that base bottle, and that's because I was at the very tail end of it. So I had to switch over to using my triple vitamin top coat as a base instead. But the next step for doing the apex building is to do like a 3/4 dip. So over sections 1, 2, and 3, kind of widening that stripe. So not going all the way to the cuticle, but going all the way to the free edge. And again, staying away from the side walls, just so that I'm not making it too thick. I'm concentrating the product in the middle of the nail to build up that strength and that curvature, and make that apex nice and strong. So that is again, step number 3 when building the apex. And then you'll see here in a second that I get into step 4. So again, let me step out. I'll pop back in just a second. So step 4 is to go ahead and do a dip over the entire nail, all the way from cuticle to free edge. Careful to just leave that, hairline's worth of space between the product and the cuticle, so not actually touching the cuticle, and, doing a full coverage dip. So again, going to let you all watch me finish getting this dip done on her nail, and then I will pop back in afterwards to go through the additional steps that are required when you are building the nail in this way. I'm holding her nail to the side here, so that you can kind of see what it's looking like in terms of the curve of that apex that I've just built. And then to make sure that I don't have the product on her cuticle, I'm just running around the cuticle with the orange wood stick. So I will be right back. Okay, so at this point, if you are going to switch over to using colored dip, you would actually want to go ahead and activate the nail and do some light filing work before adding your colored dip. And that is because when you're adding so many layers of the dip, you want to make sure that your activator is able to penetrate all the layers. So that is why you would stop at this point and add that activator, and then, get the curvature of the nail just right with the file work, very light file work, and then go in with the color. In our case today, because she wanted to go with gel polish and I wasn't going to be doing any colored dip on her, I opted just to do one more coat of the clear over the entire nail, or not the clear, but the natural dip powder over the entire nail. So now technically this is like the 5th dip that we're doing. And because I was only doing 5, I didn't feel like I needed to stop and activate just because, I'm adding only one more layer beyond that. If I was doing color, I'd be adding an additional 3 layers because I'd be doing 2 layers of color at this point, followed by a clear cap. So then that would put us up to 7 layers. And again, the activator might not get all the way through down to that very bottom little dot that we started with on her stress point. So that's something for you to keep in mind. Got to do it a little bit differently when you're adding some dip color on top of this this clear or natural apex building up that you've done. And this is the first time that I'm trying this particular type of building the apex, this method, I guess I'll say. And I do like it because I do think that it gives the nail a really nice shape because you are concentrating that product in the middle of the nail. The hump, the highest point of the nail is right where it's supposed to be, and it just is really aesthetically pleasing. That's one of the things that building a good apex does for your nails. It gives you that really beautiful curvature to your nail. So this is something that I am continuing to play with, this method of building the apex. I do think that it depends on the length of your nail as to whether you should be doing this building up of the apex. If you have super short nails, you don't need to do even the half dip, 3/4 dip, and full dip. You can just, do 2 or 3 layers of full dip on your shorties. And then as your nails are getting longer, you can do the half, 3/4 full, or you can utilize this method where you're putting a little dollop in the middle, then a stripe, and then the 3/4 and the full dip. So just something to keep in mind. I just wanted to do a video on this style of building the apex because I had somebody comment a few videos back that they wanted to see kind of building up the apex a little bit more in depth. And then when I found that Kiara Sky video, I just thought, oh yeah, this is cool. This is like a really good way. So here you can see that curve to her nail where there's the highest point of the nail right in the middle. And then I set the original first dip far back enough where her stress point of her nail was, so that even as her nail continues to grow out, that stress point, that highest point of the apex is still going to be sitting in the right spot on her nail. Because if you have it too far forward, and then the nail grows out, then you are creating another problem because you're just giving the nail strength in the wrong place, I guess, and therefore it would be more likely to break. So the general rule of thumb here is that the longer the nail is, the further back the highest point should be towards the cuticle edge. So that's the trick of it. But again, just, you can do what I did where you just apply a little bit of pressure on the free edge and you can actually see that white spot that forms on the nail when we first started this. And that is going to be the exact spot that you want to start from. So now that we've got through all of that, and I went ahead and activated her nails, you know, with 2 layers of the activator, I really slopped it on there to make sure it went down all the way, waited a good few minutes for that to settle in. Once her nails are hard and making a clicking noise, I can go in and file them. So this is a brand new contraption that I have here. It is a dust collector, a nail dust collector. So it's from Markartt. I got it on Amazon. I will link it down below in the description box. I was just tired of getting nail dust all over the room that I'm working in. The room that I do nails in is my office. And right now I'm working from home full time. And so literally I was getting nail dust all over my computer screen, my keyboard, like everything. And it was just driving me crazy. So I decided to invest in one of these dust collectors, and it really does make a world of difference. I usually turn it up. It has like a little crank dial on the side, so you can turn it up to as low or as high as you want. It does make quite a bit of noise when it's all the way on high, but the suction is the best when it's at the highest. So that's why I keep it on high. And then it's got like a little filter tray inside of there that you can take out when you're done filing. You can choose to blow it out with a hair dryer, like outside, to get all the dust out of it. Or what I do is I kind of tap it into the garbage can and let all of the dust fall out of it. And then I just give it a quick rinse in the sink with water, like turn it upside down so that the water is pushing the rest of the little tiny dust particles out of the filter. And I think this filter lasts for like 3 months. It's recommended to change it every 3 months. Especially when you're filing off a colored dip, in preparation for like a rebase where you're not completely soaking off. The amount of dust that this thing catches is unbelievable. So definitely a good investment to make just to save your home from getting covered in nail dust. I have had to get used to working over it a little bit because I wasn't used to that, because it has to sit right under where you're working. But other than that, no issues. Love it completely. So just finishing up the filing here, I think I only show you these 2 nails just so I could show you my new dust collector. But then we're going to be getting into the application of the polish and then putting some stamps on top of that, and have a few more products to show you. So she wanted to go with 2 different colors of blue and 2 different colors of yellow for her look. This was kind of like her last summer mani, I guess you could say. And the stamps that she picked, she wanted like some fish and some like little, like, I don't know, underwater sea plant type things on her nails. So that was what we had planned to do. So the light blue color is, this is a Beetles color right here. And I really like Beetles gel polish. I also like Gellen. Those are kind of like my main 2 that I've been using lately. And then the dark blue is Gellen. I think the light yellow is Gellen. And I think the darker yellow may have been Beetles as well. And then she went with a little bit of a sparkle on one of her nails that was also like a Gellen color, and it was kind of like a holographic sparkle, like it was rainbowy. So just showing you all of the different colors that we decided to go with here. Doing my best to show you the numbers on my little swatches that correlate with the bottles. And so nothing fancy here, just kind of doing a regular gel polish application. I just show you 1 coat on her nails. The blues only required 1 coat each, like they were very opaque and they didn't need a second coat on there. The yellows were a different story. I want to say that for the darker yellow I did 2 or 3 coats, and then for the lighter yellow I probably did like 3 or 4 coats. just trying to reach the depth of color that we were shooting for. So again, I didn't show you all of that because I didn't want to be redundant. You guys have seen me polish nails before. I am using the Mia Secret products again after I've got her dip on and it's all filed up. So I'm using the prep, and then I'm going to use the primer because again, it said that it's good for gel polish. So it's definitely safe to use this at this point. I wouldn't recommend using it like I did earlier underneath putting the dip base down because I don't think it did anything for us, and you run the risk of gunking up your brush, but definitely safe to use here. And I do think it makes a world of difference in terms of getting the gel polish to stick and adhere better to the dip powder nails. So I am going to step out and leave you all just to kind of zone out and watch me get the polish on real quick, and then I will pop back in when we get into the stamping. Had a little bit of issues with the stamping this time. Not perfect at it by any means, but I'll kind of talk about some of the issues I ran into. So I will be back in just a little bit. So here you're seeing me just go in with like a dotting tool to kind of push some of the glitter pieces around because I was going for kind of like an ombre effect where I was fading the glitter down from her cuticle to her free edge. So just kind of moving the pieces around where I wanted them. And then she did a flash cure on each nail just so that the polish wouldn't run and go anywhere. And then this is where she's doing like a full cure. And then I did go ahead and top coat the nails. I always do a top coat on the nails just in the event that I don't like the way that my stamping comes out. I can take it off real quick. I just got this stamping plate holder from Born Pretty on Amazon. I love it. I just love how cute it is. I love the shininess. It's huge. It'll hold so many stamping plates. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly how many, but definitely a good investment. I have a lot more stamping plates on the way as we're getting into the holidays, so I'm probably gonna have to pick up another one of those bad boys here soon. So now the stamping. Okay, so I had, oh, it looks like here's where I'm putting on that top coat that I was talking about. No worries, I have some things to tell you while we are doing this part anyway. So with the stamping plates, I had ordered a new set of stampers and scrapers, and I don't know what the problem was. I don't want to say it was user error because I've stamped many times and usually don't have an issue picking up the stamp on the stamping tool itself, but those new products that I was using, I don't know if there's like a break-in or wear-in period for a stamper. I just could not get the darn thing to pick up the stamp. And I tried several times. I tried scraping like not as hard because I thought maybe I was scraping too much of the polish off, and then the stamper wasn't able to pick up the image because of that. And I could not get the stamper to work. I could not get the scraper to work, which leads me to believe that maybe I really have to adjust my technique when I'm using these new products, because typically I use a Born Pretty stamper and a Born Pretty scraper, and like this other one was a different brand. And so yeah, I don't know what to really say about that, but I just could not get it to work for the life of me. I was really excited to show you guys the new product that I was trying out, but because I couldn't get it to work, I just reverted back to the stuff that I'm used to using. And then I was able to, keep going. So I just cut out all the rest of the stuff. So I don't know, I guess maybe I'll have to play with that some more and see if I could get it to work eventually for me. We ended up changing. What she originally wanted was like a little koi fish, and she ended up going with these sharks because the koi fish one, I couldn't, even with my regular stamper, I couldn't get it to pick it up correctly. And I have issues like that with some stamps, like it just will not pick up. I've tried it like 10 times. I get frustrated. I give up. I choose a different stamp and it ends up working fine. So we did a couple little sharks on her nail on this hand, and then she picked like some little flowery designs that to me look like they would be like underwater, like plants, or like maybe some coral kind of shapes. And even this, you'll see that it didn't pick up on the stamp as well as I would have liked it to. It was kind of like spotty and blotchy. And so what I did to fix that is I just went in with one of my nail art brushes, and I just put a little bit of the stamping polish on that right here, just dabbed it on, and then I just kind of went over where those bare spots were and filled it in and made it look a little more like it was supposed to look in terms of the way it looked on the stamping plate. So stamping was just not my jam today. I guess I was just having a lot of issues in this department. Don't know exactly what the problems were or why, but I mean, I was able to get it to work to a point, I guess, and then, kind of used some other tricks I had up my sleeve to finish off the look. And then you'll see at the end that her other yellow accent nail that has stamping on it on her other hand is slightly different. She wanted to go with just a little bit different stamps, same theme, but just something a little different. And I think that ended up looking super cute, to have two slightly different themes going on her nails. We used all the same colors though, and I think images from the same stamping plate. So again, it worked out great. So just getting things cleaned up here on the stamping plates and cleaning up my tools. Of course, I do another gel top coat over her stamp that I just laid down to encapsulate it and to protect it and give that a 60-second cure. And then gonna hydrate her nails with some cuticle candy oil and, you know, the lotion from Candi Skincare like I always do. And then we're pretty much going to be all set. So I am going to leave you to watch till the end. I will pop in right at the end as I always do. So I'll just see you in a little bit. Almost forgot, I have yet some additional products to show you. I was just in a buying shopaholic mood, I guess. I picked this little like caddy up from Candi Skincare to keep all my nail tools in it. Super helpful. I like that everything is spread out in here and I can see it perfectly when I'm reaching for different tools on my nail desk. This is one of the little kits that you can get on Candi Skincare website. So it comes with the main candy for your hair. It comes with a jar of the unscented skincare lotion, this 6 milliliter cuticle oil pen that has like the bristle end to it, a bottle of the oil itself, the cuticle oil, and then a little chapstick. So this was, I never bought one of these sets. Oh, and of course the super cool little bag that it all comes in. I never bought one of those sets from Candi Skincare before, but I really wanted that thicker cuticle oil pen, which is again the 6 milliliter one instead of the 3 milliliter one. And you could only get that if you bought like one of these little kits. So that's really what I was after. And that's why I bought the whole kit. I bought the whole kit for the pen applicator. But I really am so in love with the chapstick, as well as the hair oil. And the scent that I went with was lavender. So I really like that scent. It's perfect for me to use before I go to bed, because lavender is kind of one of those nighttime scents that's supposed to help you sleep and relax. So that's why I chose that scent. But she has so many scents on her website, and she has like a fall trio right now as well, that I just bought, and I can't wait till it comes. So definitely stay tuned for the review on that. This is the design we put on her other nails. So we still went with like the same like little plant looking things, but then we did a crane instead of like the sharks. So looks great. Thanks so much for watching. I know this was a longer video. I just had a lot to show you. So stay tuned, and I will see you in my next video, which will be a Halloween one. Yay! See you guys later. Bye.